Just after 4 o'clock, a gunman walked out of a Lake City apartment, approached a car, and shot a driver. After injuring that driver, the suspect walked into the street and shot a Metro bus driver. Amazingly, that bus driver was able to get away and drove his bus filled with people to safety. But after the suspect hit the bus driver, he continued his rampage. The gunman then approached a red Prius. He killed the person behind the wheel. The suspect then got inside this Prius and sped away. After he drove off, he hit another vehicle and killed that driver too. Police took the suspect into custody, but not before he killed 2 and injured 2 others.
What a story. After the shootings, the mayor, the assistant police chief, and the fire department, they held a press conference reacting to this news.
This was an incredibly random and senseless act of violence, but I want everyone to know this is a safe community. And we want to do what we need to do for people to return to the streets, take their bus, be in their restaurants, and mingle with their neighbors.
Now here's what we know about the update on the conditions of the people who survived this. The 2 drivers who were injured, they are both in satisfactory condition. The suspect also survived. He too is in satisfactory condition, but under watch by the police department. As for a motive, really no details on that quite yet. They did say that they had a family member that was with the suspect right before he went on his rampage, trying to get more information there. We're going to try and get some answers on that in the hours ahead, guys.